But Abigail has your name on my screen.
Yeah, she's just not sharing. We both, because it's the Trustus account.
Hi, Dobie. John, Dobie's so cute.
Susan is mom.
I know. Look at that. That's so cute.
Are we back?
Yeah.
Yes, we're back.
So,
okay, so we've lost half of everyone, but here's the deal. Perhaps they are watching on Facebook or on YouTube.
People are going to watch tomorrow.
Or they'll maybe watch tomorrow. They won't connect. So it'll always be, you have to go somewhere else to get this part. So we'll call this the super good portion. I want a very personal secret out of every participant today, starting with, all right, so we're back. We'll do our best. Lori, when last, I'm not sure if we went out with Mary Winn or Lori, but I think I think we heard it with Lori. So Mary Winn, we're going to say we got your answer in the corner pocket. The fun of the internet, folks. Actually, this wasn't the internet. This was a computer. So listen. Could I just say for a second? Let me remind everyone. We are taking recurring monthly donations right now at Trustus with the Producers Circle. We need your help. Okay. So Lori, last night, how did you get started when you got this prompt? 7 o'clock. What went through your head, and how did you get to the play that was produced today?
7 o'clock came, and I went to run an errand. And so I said, I will think on my feet. And I did. And I thought, okay, well, let's see. Who do we have here? Are they going to be friends? Are they going to be a couple? And how, like, what's the story? And so I came on to having two of them out in the woods for some reason. And I thought how interesting it would be to kind of do a switch up and have at some point someone who they think is going to help them is not there to help them. And so I didn't know all the details, but I knew that Free was going to be an agent of doom.
That's awesome. I mean, like, I think it's one of the scariest things I can imagine is being in an unfamiliar place, thinking I'm in one situation and then realizing that is not where I'm at.
Right.
So I get to live with that tonight as I dream. So thank you. So, let's just go to Terrance. Terrance, you directed Lori's show tonight. What was the experience like today, unpacking her words with the cast and telling this story?
Oh man, like I wanted to keep going and keep working and keep working and keep going. Like I want to see this play. I want to see Rayana play Free. Like I want to know what happens. I want a sequel. I need a follow up. I want to know what the hall looks like. Like I was in, so it just kept, unfolding for me. The more we read it, the more we talked about it, the more these things kept illuminating. It just seemed like there was so much good stuff to kind of tap into the eeriness of the situation, but just the language, and there were so many things that the choice of, Free being the name of our, of the demon, leading them to freedom, just all of that, the language of all of that was so apparent and so right on. Like I loved it. It was a thrill to work on with these guys. It really was.
It was really, I was lucky enough to be in your room all day because we kind of split off, and, one cast goes with Abigail and one cast sticks around with me most of the time. And it was just so awesome to hear the conversations around the piece as it was being worked out, So thanks for letting me hawk around and listen to it. And thank you, Lori, for your show. Mm-hmm. Yes. So Mary Winn's, you had me laughing my ass off because I too enjoy, I just love engaging in an adult actor's sense of play by playing a child. And then of course, you got Monica getting to, have this duality. So Elena, when you were working on this piece today, how did you pull out the comedy with everyone today in a 2.5 hour afternoon?
Well, first I have to really thank Mary Winn because each character was very crafted. So it was, and I like a lot of collaboration, and it's kind of hard to really express all this stuff over emails, but I'm kind of like, hey, so I'm seeing, the women playing, the teacher and student 2 and the guys playing student 1 and 3. So who wants to do that? And everybody's like, oh, I don't care. I'm like, well, gosh darn it. I'm going to have to make some decisions. So then Sean says, my dog is going to be on my lap. And I said, well, then you can't have the cat. So now you have chosen your freaking character and Marcus is going to have the cat. And then I needed to know who was more facile with the Zoom, and that would be Monica. And it just all, I can't explain it. It all fell into place. These guys were fabulous. I know Sean. I've never worked with Sean before. I've worked with Monica. I've worked with Marilyn. I've worked with Mary Winn. I got to meet Marcus. Oh, what a joy that was. I hope we get to see each other in person at some point. It was honestly a joy. It's just so freaking funny. But it really came, the words came from Mary Winn. She was brilliant in creating these very clear characters. And then Monica, I got to tell you, tonight when it was taped and your little head was so bizarre in that witch thing, I love you so much for doing that. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm looking for it now. I don't know what to do.
Oh,
Well, she was a ghost after all.
it was fabulous. It was so scary. I'd be scared. A ghost in the Zooms, man.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So, Leandra, I want to ask you a question. It's really been a question that's been on my mind all day, and I hope it's not too sad a question, but I'm just kind of curious. So many performers, got the news at some point in the spring that their shows were closed. I mean, I'm thinking about the people in the room right now. Terrance, Marilyn, G. Scott, Rayana, they were all working on Fairview. And, we opened a show that closed opening weekend, and you were in the run of Tina on Broadway, yes? So, I mean, I'm just kind of wondering, in our case, it felt very familial, and then it was like, coming from me, guys, I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on. And of course, Terrance can attest, kept trying to say, he'll be 3 weeks, we're back in. Like, he's like, no. And I'm like, you're probably right. But so I'm kind of wondering, so for you, what was the experience at that level, being in a Broadway show and getting that news?
Yeah, in a weird way, it was this sounds so sad, but it felt like doomsday. You wake up, and I remember it's weird. Like the day before, a lot of our castmates had been coming down the steps, like we're on our way to Curtain Call, which is like a big production number. Of course, it's musical theater, and it's this big number. We're all like in our stuff. We're all running, and my friend Jessica was like, "You guys, tonight you need to pack your stuff up because they won't let us in the theater tomorrow." And we're all like, "Jess, it's okay. Don't worry about a thing." And she's like, "No, I'm telling you, I can feel it. Make sure you pack your stuff." So we come to the next day. I remember waking up that morning. I'm on the phone with like some people from the cast. We're all acting cool, like being like, "I'll see you at rehearsal." Then we get the call of like, "You have until 3:00 to get your stuff out, and we're closed." Governor Kumo was not letting anybody back in the building. And it kind of sunk in like, what is going on? It was very eerie. So you have everybody rushing to the theater to get out important things. You're in there, it closes, and then they keep giving you a date. We'll see you in May. We'll see you in September. Now we'll see you in June. Mm-hmm. And so it's a very bittersweet thing because for my show and a lot of shows that just opened, we were only open for about 6 months. And so we didn't even get to the big moments. Like we've missed the Tonys or the things. So it's a bit of sadness to the situation. And it felt very like Will Smith in that movie is it 4th of July? Like, what is that movie?
Independence Day?
Yeah. With the
Independence Day.
Independence Day, yeah.
Yes. It like had that feel of like, what is going on? So yeah, it was a sad moment. But like Monica said earlier, New York is alive and well. And theater happening like this, I think kind of gets us back to the center of real art a little bit. I think in recent years, we've gone more and more away from what makes people real actors or make people real artists. And so I think this break has allowed people I'm not just a dancer or I'm not just a singer. Like I'm an artist who can be in New York City and give art to my community in the middle of Columbia, South Carolina.
Mhm.
You know, so in a way, it's very sad, but also I'm excited for places like this to step up for the occasion and step up to the moment, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for, taking the time to do it. And I was talking, so Monica, obviously we've talked about that a couple times, like New York is alive and well. And I know you're working a lot in the television and film industry. So you were kind of like touching on earlier today, just while we were having conversations between things about what's going on with that industry. So, I mean, what's it been like in the past 7 months and what's happening now for you?
Yeah, well, I last season I had a recurring role on a TV show called For Life, and it runs on ABC. And the showrunner told me at the end of the season, he's like, "Well, we'll see you in July because we're going to come back in July." And then COVID happened, and George Floyd and Black Lives Matter, really exploded, and they decided to take the show in a different direction. And um, so I got the first call I got was that I'm not coming back to this show. They wrote me off, but it was because they're taking the storyline down the COVID path and Black Lives Matter, because it's a show about a Black man that's been wrongly in prison. But so that was a disappointment, and they were delayed too. They didn't start shooting until I don't know, maybe about a month ago. But they were one of the first shows to come back in the city. I've been auditioning, and nothing's in person. No auditions are in person right now. So everything is on, you do self tapes, and then they get sent to the CDs, and then they, maybe ask you to do it again. Things in the Southeast, things that shoot in Atlanta and Wilmington actually are really hopping back. They're coming back a lot. Here, it's just a little bit more slow going. I think that Cuomo's done a really good job of doing what he calls like the valve, right? I mean, things come back a little bit at a time, and we see how it's going to go. And then if things don't go so great, then we shut it back down. And you know what? Knock on wood, we've got a really low, like, what is it now? The third lowest infection rate in the country or something like that. So like, I'm proud of that. But it really, I am grateful for the opportunity, at least, to be auditioning for TV shows. My heart is like, I feel bad for my theater friends who focus and who work primarily in that world. A lot of my friends are doing voiceover now, which I never have really done, but I should, I guess.
Well, you did 2 voices tonight, so that's, just proof that.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Hook me up, Monica. Hook me up with those
As
voices.
soon as I figure out how, get you going. I don't know.
Well, that's awesome. Well, thanks for joining us tonight. So I want to throw it. Gosh, we've got so many talented people in the room. I just think it's been a really strange world to do theater in this way, because we find ourselves, especially in this format, we find ourselves kind of living in we don't know what is happening around us or what you're seeing. Case in point, all of a sudden the show stopped, and I actually have been part of theater where the show was stopped, but we don't have to talk about that. I'm still going through the trauma. But I would love to know, folks, in this new format, your experience today. I mean, there's so many things to talk about. How was it different? Is there anything you found delightful about it versus what we're used to?
I want to say that I do like the fact that theater, you have to, and you're taught to be large and, project, and all your emotion comes out. And it's kind of nice when you're Zoom acting, it's really just right here. So you're not as big, and you really can have it oftentimes more shades and shadows. As an actor and as a director, you can direct more into the shades and shadows. So I find that very interesting in this medium.
Awesome. I saw Marcus is frozen to me right now. Oh, no, he's just looking down. Okay. It's the cat.
Here's my
Marcus,
cat.
what did you want to share?
I have been Zooming a lot, doing a lot of Zoom readings. And I feel super empowered. I feel like I am powerful in on this platform as an artist, as an actor. I've been living in California. I wish I've been living in Colombia for about a year, but I spent 6 years in New York City doing opera stuff, and then transitioning over into musical theater. And I always felt like, that God, I hope I get it syndrome just never felt good to me. Um, I always wanted to be in control of the art that I'm making, and like when I make it, how it sounds, what it feels like. And that's not commercial musical theater, at
Mm.
least. And Leandra, excuse me, you can back me up on that because you're making it happen. And that doesn't mean that it isn't a blessing, but there is a little bit of the puppet strings, a little bit attached to how the art is perceived, how it's made. And I feel like Zoom has given artists on the ground level, like actors, the power to create any type of art they want and then still broadcast it to a large group of people. Um, and there's something really powerful about this that I think has radically changed the way that we're going to make art for a very long time. I'm not sure that I want to go back to a casting director heavily influenced industry. I don't know if I want to not be able to call Lori up and say, "Can I do your play?" and not have to go through and like it's give her accolades, pay her money, give her coins, but not be in a place where I don't have access to directors and dramaturgs. Um, I think it has removed the elitism that we've kind of created with theater in this country, and I'm super excited about that power.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean,
Well said.
it's hard not to do this and think, because I mean I'm getting the question all the time in my position, like what happens next, I mean, like I can't imagine. I do think we will gather in theatrical spaces. I think we will see theater and
Oh
recognize the experience because it's been
yeah.
going on for so long, past many pandemics.
Yeah, I just want to be a voice at the table, and
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
think this platform has reminded me that I am more powerful than the system has told me I am. I'm not just someone that reads something off the page. I am also an artistic being that brings something into the room. To be valued that way.
I
Yeah.
think it's democratized it for audiences too. And
Absolutely.
I'm really curious to see how that plays out in the next few years. More people are able to see what we're doing, and able to get to the theater space because it's their living room.
Yep.
Mhm.
I'd like to add to that if I may. Yeah, so this pandemic, COVID, whatever, um, allowed me to realize starting my own production company, which is Major Minor Productions, and I've put on 3 play readings so far from September through September and October. Marcus was in one of them.
Yay!
We met here in New York, and he's a wonderful, wonderful soul. Everyone is. Oh my gosh, I'm excited to see you again, Kevin. Uh,
You are
and
so
Sean, like,
younger than
just I feel like I'm in South Carolina a little bit again, which I will be coming home for a little bit later in the year. But anyway, doing this has definitely been liberating for me because before there was even any talks about the shutdowns, like back in January, I said to myself, I want to put on an evening of short plays that I've written. I'm going to rent a space, I'm going to sell tickets, do the whole thing. And then, everything shut down and I kind of went into I'm not creating right now. And then after I got over that hump, I said, okay, well now let's refocus those energies. And I said, I still want to do the thing that I said I wanted to do. And so that birthed MMP and me creating, still being able to create that art and show it and share it with others. So yeah, I definitely am grateful for the way things have turned, and looking forward to how that's going to meld back into live theater in the future.
Absolutely. I'm Terrance and I are both like, I'm feeling his nod because we've been talking a lot about that here. It's all about Marcus, what you're talking about. It's changing the systems we all came out of that weren't working, and learning how to truly, create platforms for the voices that can do amazing work and take down those barriers that there's no reason why they should exist besides some historical system that, serves nobody, right? Tia, I saw you unmuted. Did you want to share?
Oh, no. I unmuted in case there was something was being thrown. But yeah, I can't shake my head any harder over here. Like, seriously.
I'm worried about you. You're shaking your head too much.
I know. I'm worried about me too. Yeah, I'm having a whole moment, like a whole entire moment.
Oh, man.
Like, yeah, I'm here for everything that's being. I just echo and feel so much what's being said about how this space has allowed us the opportunity to sort of go back into what we really want and need, and how to address those things from our own sense of power and agency. And it's something that so many of us have been working, fighting, scraping, clawing, and burning things down to get to for so long, that feeling is everything. It's everything to hear my people in here talking about how they're making it happen for themselves. Like, that's exactly what I've been wanting to see. And apparently it took something like this for us to get there. So I too am like looking forward to how we push this new sort of gaze back into what we are opening back up. I don't want to go back either. I think this is a go forward. What are we going forward to? There's no getting back to what it was. It's how do we do what we want to do with these new eyes,
So interesting, because being in the commercial world, I feel as if now in this time, there's so much more room for discovery that I've never had before. Like, I feel like in becoming an actor, and like Marcus said, like in New York City, it's like, I am an actress. It's my being, and I take the note, and I sing the tunes, and you become, and you don't realize in that you become a robot, and you become static noise. You never find movement ever again because these people are yelling at you, and really you have now learned what $1 million can do. You just see $1 million, but it's like, in this time, I'm discovering so many things. Like at Trustus Theater, I saw Tony Award-winning performances in the middle of Columbia, South Carolina. You know what I mean? When I was 16. The only difference now is that in New York, there's $1 million thrown at it.
Right.
So there's $1 million thrown at it, but there's no artistry. There's no artist. There's no living, breathing organism or life within it. And so I feel like Zoom has allowed, or these platforms have allowed that breath more so than ever before.
Leandra, I just one last important question before we call it off here. What is $1 million? I thought it was funny money in movies.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
What's
no,
$100?
I really
really
conversation today. This has been pretty, full of substance, which is lovely. And I can't appreciate everyone more. Thank you so much. I mean, folks, you don't have any idea. Our playwrights were Mary, Winn, and Lori were working for 12 hours. I don't know if they maybe got done around some point in the middle of the night, but they had 12 hours to create this work. Our directors really got a cold hard 2.5 hours with the actors to work today, and then at 5 o'clock we get together and see how we try it one more time, and then at 7 we go live, and sometimes we get kicked off. So thanks everyone for spending your day with us. Every artist in this room, thank you so much, and let's just keep making wonderful things happen, because yes, moving forward. So I got a few plugs to do before we head off, and actors, playwrights, directors. It's always awkward because we just end the meeting and go off into the ether. But beyond my thanks, I also want to for you guys, I want to thank our sponsors, our virtual series sponsors, 5 Point Salon. If your hair is looking like crap, go to 5 Point Salon. They'll fix you right up. Okay. So thank you to them. Folks, this is our last FEST24 event. Actually, next weekend we are becoming a film studio, sort of, and filming the Thanksgiving play by Larissa Fasthorse, who actually just a couple weeks ago got the MacArthur Genius Grant. So it's definitely Trustus Fair, and you know, we've been having a lot of, you know, eye-opening conversations around that. Terrance, you know, has been working with our cast as well, talking about the themes in that show, and of course our director Abigail McNeely has been running the FEST24 show, so she's been making all this happen. So thank you, Abigail, and thanks to Curtis and Sam. I'm sitting in week one's background. I'm still in a strange desert festival while everyone else is in the woods. And thanks to the whole staff and all the artists who have worked. It's been 40 artists working on this over the past 3 weeks. So thanks for supporting it. Thanks for being with us. Good night, everyone. Sleep well. And thank you so much. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks.
If anybody needs anything from the freezer section, y'all let me know.
Thank you, Mary Winn. And Terrance, I'm emailing you tomorrow with something.
Yeah,
Love you, Mary Winn. Thank you, guys. Oh my God.
Lori.
You made me cry.
Thank you.
I laughed so hard. Thank you so much.
It was like
I'm so excited that you get to we got to work together. I look forward to working with you.
Everybody else. So I'm emailing you tomorrow.
I need to get control for me. Can't see the ground I stood on by giving me a chance. With the music, make way for what you ought to know. Unwind, then I know I can make you dance. I'm moving like a missile to your love. Your body makes me feel so free. I keep seeking like an F-16. We might be confused by elevation. I wanna feel alive in your life, so let me in, boy. You're moving like a missile to my love. My body can make you feel so free. Keep seeking like an F-16. We might be confused by everything, but you can feel alive in my life. I'll let you in, boy. I know love expires. There's more to fight inside. I give you more than you desire. Don't judge, not required. I don't wanna lose the feelings that we can't conceal. Can I see the ground I stood on? Help me by giving me a chance. Yeah. With the music.
Friends, usually this time of year would be beginning a brand new season, and it's just not possible at present. We need you now more than ever. So today we're launching the Producer Circle, our new annual fund to sustain the future of Trustus Theater. If you have a special place in your heart for this theater, we hope you'll join today and become a supporting member of our annual fund. Thanks to new online giving options, you can make monthly or quarterly recurring donations at trustus.org. These recurring donations will give Trustus the ability to support the theater's operating expenses during the pandemic, as well as give us the ability to create new streaming events and prepare for our return to live performance. As ticket buyers and contributors, your support has made it possible for Trustus Theater to present award-winning contemporary and original works for 35 years right here in Columbia, South Carolina. Truly, we are here because of you. There are benefits to becoming a member of the Producer Circle, and with recurring donations, your membership will build to new levels over the course of the coming year. Friends, please support us through this moment. We know that so many are facing a difficult time, but all donation levels are meaningful to our sustainability and essential to our resilience. Join the Producer Circle today so that we can gather again in your theater home. We miss you, and we hope you're safe and well, and we can't thank you enough.